All right, so let's do a quick mock draft, at least the first round mock draft. I know, Jokic is a clear number one pick, right? You'll start off
Yes.
with the number two because that alone would be something that you're gonna be thinking about already. I mean, if you have the number two pick, it's gonna be hard to pick who would be your number two.
I'll give you number two. You go pick number two.
Um, I like Giannis at number two, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Giannis
At
at
least,
number two. I think, nine is a little too low. I mean, Giannis is a beast. Availability wise and stat wise. I'm just hoping he improves more on the free throw, but last year he was decent enough. So I'll go Giannis number two.
yeah, I agree. We're the same there. I know he's not perfect, but looking at this top 12, there are lots of question marks with everybody. So the player that I'm most comfortable is Giannis. You'll probably be surprised. I'll go Luka at number three. People will say, "Hey, you're the guy who said Luka was not a first rounder." Yeah, I know that was before. At this point, Luka 74% free throw shooting. It's improving. If it goes to 78, 79, that will make it even better. And as I said, so many question marks with the other players, but Dallas, even with Christian Wood, is still Luka Doncic's team. So at this point in this season, that's the best you can hope for with a first rounder. The usage, possibly less injury prone, less risk. So I'm gonna go Luka number three.
And that's interesting because, Giannis and Luka always get flack for their free throws.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you can already see they're improving their free throws bit by bit. And, with all the uncertainties with the other players, it's hard to pick the others over these two. I'll take Joel Embiid at number four. I think, he was a beast last year. At least somehow he quelled some injury concerns last year. I mean, he played almost probably around what 85% of the season. Um, so I think it's safer to get him. Plus, the production has been consistently good last year.
Is Luka your number three though?
Uh mm, yeah, yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If
Yeah.
Lucas
So
goes number two, and maybe if there's other choice, I'll probably also still get Joel and be the number three. I don't mind doing that as well.
at least we're so far 4 picks in. We're in agreement so
Yeah.
far with all the picks that we have made. At number 5, it gets tricky, but I'll probably go with Harden, back-to-back Sixers pick. People might say he didn't look good last year in Philly. Again, fantasy also is about narratives. He gave up money. He wants to win. I think he's gonna be in shape. He's gonna be, again, motivation is there, and he's still good. He's not Harden before, but still pretty damn good. I mean, not top one or two, but still elite. So
Last
I
year
had
he
him at
had
five.
some nice glimpses of old Harden. I mean, there were some games wherein he played really well before he was shipped to Philly. He struggled a bit in Philly, but having said that, though, I think I like Harden a little lower, maybe the six or
Mhm.
seven spot. I like Carl Anthony Towns at number five still. I think the old
Okay.
reliable, safer pick. I mean, if you're onto the safer pick, I'm not too worried about Gobert, but I think Towns is a safer pick among. If I look down on all the players, you know what you're gonna get. He's probably gonna give you a little less, but not too bad as well.
So that's six. Towns is six.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now
Yeah.
Towns, I'm gonna pick Towns six. But if I had a choice between Harden and Towns, I might go Towns first.
I'll be okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's between Harden and Towns, but I just like. I guess I gave Towns a little bump down because of Gobert's entry. But I'm okay with him at 5. He's been a very durable guy so far, although there was a season with injuries, but so far all good for Towns. And 7 for me, I'll go KD. Of course, I know that there's a possibility he holds out, he retires. I don't know what you can expect from
He's not
KD
gonna
at this
retire. He
point,
said that already.
but he can hold out or whatever. But assuming, I'm just, if I knew that he's gonna be traded already, or his status will be more confirmed, I might even pick him higher. But I put him here because of those concerns, so I have him at 7. I'm at 7.
Now 8 is tough. I'd go, man.
How about the champ? Your favorite guy, Steph.
At 8, I mean, he missed a bunch of games last year. Well, not really a bunch, but yeah, maybe I'll take my chance. No, I'm torn because I think I still like Tatum at 8. Uh, if you're more into the across the board contribution, but if you want to build better around, the assist category, the threes, I mean, I'd rather go Trey Young than Steph.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess
I
those
agree.
are my 2 options here at 8, depending on what you need or what you want to build your team around. Trey Young at 8 or Tatum at 8 would be fine. The problem with Steph, it's not really the stats. It's really the availability.
Yes. Well, the stats also. I mean,
The
the regular
stats when you
season.
need them the most.
Yeah,
The
in the
stats
regular
when you need
season,
them the most.
yeah, he's a little question mark. But if whoever you pick, if it's Trey, I'll pick Tatum. If it's Tatum, I'll pick Trey. We're at what? We're at 8 and 9, right? So
Yeah.
8 and 9. I think these two guys, young guys, again, less injury prone, less risky, less usage problems. No, basically that their team is theirs. Atlanta and Boston, they're the top dog. They're the franchise players. So I think we're both in agreement at 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So it's your turn again at 10. Giving you all the hard choices.
Yeah, I know, right?
so so
All right,
10
I
right
think
now again.
I'm okay with Steph at 10.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay
I
with
agree
Steph at
also.
10. If
Yeah.
you look at it, the next best option would be LaMelo. Although LaMelo has been good, I still don't trust him as much, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever LaMelo contributes, I think players like Halliburton can, do that as well. I mean, do those stuff as well. Equally good. He won't have his usual partner in Miles Bridges, so that might, you know, dip his numbers a bit. And he wasn't as consistent last year. So I'll take Steph here.
Yeah, Steph at 10 is very good. I think that's a good spot for him. And LaMelo at 11 for me. As I said, LaMelo for me is not too far off the 10th spot he is right now in Yahoo. I think although Miles Bridges not being there in Charlotte might
Yeah,
hurt him a little because they have a good chemistry.
Yeah.
But I think overall Charlotte is still the same, same team. They have good scorers.
Charlotte though has a new
him.
coach.
Yeah.
So we don't know how that impacts LaMelo's game, but yeah, they have a new coach and it's a defensive-minded coach, right?
Yeah, but I think it's again it's gonna the offense will be centered around him. That will be built around him. So I think it's gonna be fine. 11 at this point of the draft. Finding someone like LaMelo is really hard already. Someone with the skill set profile of LaMelo is a win. So I'm gonna go with LaMelo at 11.
Right.
Again, another hard choice for you. So go ahead. The last 3 picks.
So
12.
I'm skipping Kyrie. I don't like Kyrie, especially in the first round. I mean, LeBron, I'm still iffy in the first round. Really, I like LeBron more in the second round. I'd go Dame, I guess. You're right. There's really no other option here. 12 onwards, I guess. That's better than Dame. You're gonna take the risk. This is the guy to risk on, I guess, in the first round.
Yes. As I said a while ago, it's clearly a hard spot to be in. Late first is a hard spot to be in. And actually, it will be reflected. Now, Dame, we've talked about Dame a while ago. It will be reflected on 13th and 14th. I really do not have an clear answer to you right now, but I'm going to go Halliburton because I just can't pick Jimmy Butler. I just can't pick Ja Morant this high. It could be LeBron, but I'm a safer guy. I don't want to go, all risky. So I'll go Halliburton at 13.
That's 13 or is that 12?
That's 13. That's 13 already.
All
So we
right,
have the last pick now. We're at the last pick, 14.
So who are we gonna get here? I don't like all of these. I mean, Beal might be the closest. I'll look at the second page. He went into the Halliburton.
Well, you have to make a pick.
I know, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's the biggest problem here.
Your choices basically at this point, you have to, at this point, if you're at 14, whoever you pick would be a risk player. You could go AD again and then, try to hope for a first round value. We can go Kyrie because he's a first round per game guy. You can go Jimmy Butler because also he's a first round per game. Kawhi, if he plays 70 games, is clearly first round. So even of course LeBron. So all those players that I just mentioned.
You know what? That the problem with this is that I was able to pick Paul George late first round. Disappointed, right? I was able to pick Jimmy Butler late first round. Disappointed. I had the team with AD late first round pick. Disappointed. So how would you expect me to pick these guys on pretty much the same round, same pick? I picked them last year, and not get disappointed, right?
It's about
that's the challenge. So you're right. That 12 to 14 spot is going to be really tough.
You know what will make it better for you is if they're LeBron fanboys, they're Ja Morant fanboys. These guys get picked at these positions, and then it drops some of the other players down.
You know
that
what?
Will help.
I'd rather pick
Kawhi.
LeBron at 14, I think.
Yes. Would you pick LeBron 14?
Yeah. Now that I've thought about it, I'd rather pick LeBron 14. I'm thinking I was initially thinking of just moving up Gobert to 14. Not really too high. For me,
it's too high.
Is it too high? You have a back-to-back pick. Even if you don't pick him, you can pick him at 15, right?
I feel it's too high. Right now, if he was in Utah, I would say
I saw Gobert shooting some threes.
Okay. I don't think that will happen. I don't think that will happen this season.
But yeah, LeBron, I think I'd rather pick LeBron over those guys. You know what's sad? The DeJounte Murray trade skewed this a bit. He would have went there. I think he would have entered the top 14 for sure. But him in Atlanta made this a more difficult choice to pick him at that early. But yeah, I think I'd rather go LeBron.
I can see people going Kawhi. I can see people going LeBron. I can see people going AD. These three, and then probably Bradley Beal or Paul George. These are the guys that will probably be picked at 14. I would be more LeBron at this point, but of course it's August. We still have 2 months to go. Things will change as we go near. But the top 13 for me, pretty solid. I think we're in agreement with a lot of those. Not much difference. I don't foresee any difference in those top 13 in my opinion. It's 14 downwards. So 14 in the early second round part where I think will be a question mark and will change. I may be Kawhi next week. I may be Paul George the week after and Mag AD or
I think for 14, my I guess my top two options, if I were to choose, it's either going to be LeBron or Bradley Beal. I think those two. Among these injured players last year, I think Beal is the safest there. I don't trust Butler. I don't trust Kawhi. I don't trust Paul George, given that they're known for load management. Teams at least manage them. And we know what AD can do. But the tip I guess we can give you guys is that do not pick these players back to back. Do not pick Kawhi and AD back to back. That's
a challenge. That's a challenge because as we said, they're bunched here. We don't even talk about Kyrie. Kyrie is also here. So
I
they're
mean,
all bunched, and even Zion. Let's put Zion in this list because Zion will be technically people have forgotten about how good he was when he played. But he
yeah.
was really good. He was really good. So he's even here also. So how it's really hard not to pick two of these guys when you have back-to-back picks. But you really have to
No, I think
resist that urge.
at the least, if you look at the list, Bam Adebayo's there. I think that's not a bad second or first pick in the second round.
Yeah.
Over maybe an AD, at least you're gonna be sure about availability, right? I mean, you're gonna be more comfortable about the availability rather than AD, right? I mean, the potential of AD is higher. We talked about it even last year, but come on, last year we felt that at 12, 13, he was a steal. He wasn't. He didn't even end up being a steal.
If he didn't get injured, he probably would have
Yeah,
been picked okay.
I know, but again,
But yeah,
that
I understand.
AD is in the Joel Embiid range right now in the sense that
Yeah,
before
yeah,
last season, everyone was scared about picking Joel Embiid because of he fell what to 8, 9, right? Embiid,
yeah.
but the potential we
Sometimes
all
lower,
know,
sometimes lower.
right? And last year, Embiid proved that he can stay healthy throughout the season. So I think we need one good AD season for that to happen. For managers to trust AD here.
I think since we told them that we don't suggest they do this, I'll give some names. I gave Booker a while ago. I'll give Sabonis. I know he's lots of holes in the fantasy wise that doesn't block. Free throws are so turns the ball over a lot for a big guy. But at this point, I can see people going with him at 16, 15, 17. Because we know that Sacramento will play him a lot. He's gonna get minutes. So Sabonis is a guy to consider at that range. Not
Yeah,
14, but somewhere there.
and at 25 he dropped already from what he was
Yeah,
previously going for. I think
yeah.
last year he went really sometimes first round. He went late first round last year. He could be a safer pick than
Yes.
the
But
four guys that we talked about.
I'll disagree with you on one thing that you said you are most comfortable with Beal. I think I feel like I'm more comfortable with Paul George than Beal. I know he's also an injury prone guy, but there's load management. But I think they're load manage Kawhi more than Paul George. And Paul George, there are seasons where he gets injured. There are seasons where he's okay. So it's really a hit or miss thing with Paul George. So I'll be more comfortable with Paul George. But we're both in agreement that Jimmy Butler is somebody we both do not like and will not draft. So that's something we're agreeing on.
Yeah, he's going to be load managed a lot because he plays a lot of minutes too when he plays, and they're not as deep as the Clippers. I guess the Clippers are
Yeah.
deeper, so they could play Paul George lesser minutes, but still allow him to play. Right, so those are the difference.